Ladies and gentlemen, before stating speak these affirmations not as desires, but as declarations. I am already the winner. Success is mine now. I have already received what I seek. These are not mere words. They are instructions to your reality. Do you not realize that you are already the winner? The world you see, the experiences you live, and the reality unfolding before you are not happening to you. They are happening because of you. Act as if you are the winner, and life must follow. This is not a wishful thought, it is law. You must assume the feeling of already having won. See yourself as the person you wish to be, not as someone striving to become. Do not wait for success to come before you believe in it. Assume it now. If you live from the state of already being victorious, the world must mirror it back to you. You do not chase success, you become it. There is no external force deciding your fate, there is only consciousness, your own wonderful human imagination. And what you assume to be true with unwavering faith must harden into fact. A winner does not hope, wish, or wait. A winner knows. Do not say, I will be successful. Instead, claim, I am successful. The very moment you shift from wanting to having, from longing to possessing, the tide begins to turn. Your outer world is the reflection of your inner world. The law is simple. Assume the feeling, and it must be made real. If you desire wealth, do not think of yourself as someone trying to become wealthy. Be the wealthy person now in consciousness. If you desire love, do not see yourself as longing for it. Assume the state of already being deeply loved. Everything begins in the mind. What you accept as true, you will experience as real. The only reason failure exists is because people accept it as a possibility. The mind that entertains failure invites it. But the mind that dwells in certainty, in absolute knowing, in the conviction that success is inevitable, that mind shapes reality. Close your eyes and feel the success you seek. Let it become real within you. Speak from it, think from it, act from it. This is not pretending, it is creating. What you persistently occupy in imagination will project itself onto the screen of your life. The power of belief and manifestation. Belief is the bridge between the invisible and the visible. If you do not believe in your success, how can life bring it to you? Your belief must be unshakable. The moment you waver, you return to the world of doubt. And doubt creates delay. Faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. You must claim it boldly without hesitation. Do not check the outer world to see if it is working. Persist in your assumption. What you assume and sustain must become your experience. There is no separation between you and your desire, except in your mind. Remove the illusion of separation. If you want to be a leader, act as if you already are. If you desire abundance, carry yourself as one who is abundant. Feel the reality of your wish fulfilled. Every great success begins with the inner conviction that it is already done. The world does not respond to effort. It responds to certainty. Walk, talk, and think from the end result. Let the world catch up to your assumption. To solidify this truth within you, practice the simple but powerful technique of living in the end. Each night before you sleep, enter the state of having already achieved your desire. Feel it so deeply that it becomes real to you. Let your subconscious mind accept it as fact. Everything you attract is a reflection of your dominant state of being. If you constantly affirm struggle, struggle will persist. But if you affirm ease, ease must follow. Change the inner conversation, and the outer world must change accordingly. A champion does not dwell on obstacles. He sees only the goal. A winner does not prepare for failure. He walks in expectation of triumph. Your mind is the architect of your destiny. Build wisely. Your life is not happening outside of you. It is happening through you. Right now, decide who you are. Decide what is true for you. Step into the reality of already being the winner. Do not wait for signs. Do not wait for proof. Be the proof. Stand in absolute faith, and the world will shape itself to fit your assumption. You are the operant power. Act as if you are the winner, and life will follow. The mind that assumes victory is the mind that commands reality. There is no force outside of you shaping your destiny. There is only consciousness, your own magnificent power of assumption. The moment you take hold of this truth, you will realize that the difference between success and failure is not in the actions you take, nor in the circumstances you face, but in the thoughts you entertain and the beliefs you hold. A winner is not made through struggle or force. A winner is simply one who has assumed within himself the certainty of already being victorious. You must begin with the awareness that your world is a mirror, reflecting back to you the contents of your inner state. If you persist in seeing yourself as someone who is striving, someone who is working towards success, you will always find yourself in a state of striving, always reaching but never arriving. But if you assume the identity of the one who has already won, the world will have no choice but to reflect that assumption. The great error of many is in believing that their external conditions dictate their internal state, when in truth it is the reverse. The inner state is the cause and the outer world is only the effect. If you wish to think like a winner, you must first abandon the idea that success is something outside of you, something you must chase, something that is separate from you. There is no separation between you and your desire except in your mind. The moment you recognize that what you seek is already within you, you shift from lack to possession, from longing to fulfillment. The winner does not say, "One day I will achieve my goal." The winner says, "It is already done." He does not speak from the perspective of waiting. He speaks from the perspective of having. Your assumption of being victorious must be absolute. It is not enough to merely say the words. You must feel the truth of it in every fiber of your being. When you walk, walk as though you are already the success you desire to be. When you speak, speak with the authority of one who has already arrived. The subconscious mind does not distinguish between what is real and what is imagined. It simply accepts what you persist in believing. If you impress upon it the feeling of already being successful, it must externalize that assumption into your world. Do not allow the senses to deceive you. The senses will show you what has been previously assumed, but they do not dictate what must be. If you rely on external validation before assuming your victory, you will remain trapped in the cycle of doubt and waiting. A winner does not wait for evidence, he becomes the evidence. The moment you decide to think from your desire rather than about it, the tide begins to turn. To embody this state, you must develop an inner dialogue that reflects your chosen reality. Pay attention to the words you speak to yourself in silence. If your inner conversations are filled with doubt, worry, or thoughts of struggle, you are reinforcing a state of not having. But if your inner conversations affirm your success, your worth, and your inevitable triumph, you are aligning yourself with the consciousness of a winner. A winner does not engage in thoughts of failure. He does not entertain the possibility of loss. His mind is firmly fixed on the assumption that what he desires is already his. Imagination is the key to unlocking this state. You must train yourself to see, in your mind's eye, the reality of your victory as if it were already here. Do not look at your goal as something in the distance. Bring it into the present moment. Feel the joy, the confidence, the certainty of already possessing that which you seek. This is not a passive daydream, but a creative act. What you continually impress upon your imagination will externalize itself in form. A winner does not waver. He does not allow the shifting tides of circumstance to dictate his belief. He remains steadfast in his assumption, knowing that the world must shape itself to fit his conviction. If doubt arises, it is only a test of persistence. Do not succumb to it. Each time the old mind tries to assert itself with thoughts of limitation, reaffirm your new state. Declare within yourself, I am already successful. Let this thought dominate your mind until it becomes the only reality you know. There is no power greater than your own ability to assume and sustain the feeling of already having achieved your desire. When you live from this state, you will find that life rearranges itself effortlessly to conform to your belief. The right opportunities will emerge, the right people will appear, and circumstances will shift to accommodate your assumption. But these are only reflections of the inner change. The true transformation happens within, and the external world merely echoes it. If you truly desire to think like a winner, you must go beyond mere words and enter the state of absolute knowing. You must let go of the idea that you are becoming and fully embrace that you already are. The winner does not seek, he possesses. He does not hope, he knows. And when this knowing becomes unshakable, the world must follow. The only reality that exists is the one you assume to be true. If you desire success, you must not wait for it to appear before you feel it. Instead, you must embody the feeling of success now, in this present moment. Your feelings are the creative force that shapes your world. They are not mere reactions to circumstances, but the very cause of those circumstances. If you wish to transform your life, you must first transform your inner state. Many believe that success is something external, something they must chase, something that comes as a reward after years of effort. But this belief is a distortion of the truth. Success is not something to be pursued. It is something to be assumed. You do not become successful by working endlessly towards a goal. You become successful the moment you claim it as your reality. The external world is only a reflection of what is first accepted within. The key to embodying success is to cultivate the feeling of already having it. This is not an intellectual exercise. It is not about repeating empty affirmations while secretly doubting their truth. It is about fully immersing yourself in the experience of your desire fulfilled. Feel the emotions you would feel if your success were already a fact. Let that feeling consume you until there is no room for doubt. Your imagination is the gateway to this transformation. You must train yourself to see the world from the perspective of one who has already attained what they seek. When you close your eyes, do not picture yourself reaching for success. See yourself as already having it. How does it feel? How does the world look from this state? If you can truly inhabit this feeling, if you can let it saturate your being, then you have already set the process of manifestation into motion. There is no need to concern yourself with how success will come. The moment you align yourself with the feeling of already being successful, the external world must rearrange itself to match that assumption. Opportunities will appear, circumstances will shift, and events will unfold in ways you could never have planned. But these are only the echoes of your inner transformation. The true work is done within. Doubt is the greatest enemy of this process. If you allow yourself to question whether your assumption is real, you invite delay. If you wonder whether success will come, you are affirming that it is not yet yours. You must be unwavering in your conviction. Live in the certainty that what you have imagined is already true. Walk through your day with the confidence of one who has already arrived. Speak, think, and act from that state, and the world will have no choice but to conform. Your feelings act as a magnet, drawing into your experience that which matches your state of being. If you feel successful, success must come. If you feel wealthy, wealth must appear. If you feel powerful, the world will reflect that power back to you. But if you allow feelings of lack, doubt, or unworthiness to take hold, then those too will be mirrored in your reality. The law is absolute. You cannot escape it. You can only learn to use it in your favor. Many wait for external validation before they allow themselves to feel successful. They say, once I have the job, the money, the recognition, then I will feel accomplished. But this is a reversal of the truth. The feeling must come first. You do not wait for success to feel successful. You feel successful and then success follows. This is the secret that few understand. Those who grasp it hold the key to unlimited creation. To embody success, you must also let go of the old identity that contradicts it. You cannot hold onto past failures, insecurities, or limiting beliefs while stepping into the reality of victory. A new state of being requires a new self-concept. Who would you be if success were already yours? How would you carry yourself? How would you think, speak, and move through the world? Adopt that version of yourself now. The more you live from this state, the more natural it will become, until eventually it is no longer something you are pretending, it is who you are. This is not a practice to be done once and forgotten. It is a continuous commitment to dwelling in the state of your fulfilled desire. It is not enough to feel successful for a few minutes and then return to old patterns of doubt and fear. You must make this new state your dwelling place. You must return to it again and again until it becomes second nature. Your life is a direct reflection of your inner world. If you wish to change what is seen, you must first change what is. Stop waiting for success to give you permission to feel victorious. Assume the feeling now, and the world will shape itself accordingly. The moment you truly embody the feeling of success, your reality has no choice but to follow. The key to unlocking the reality you desire lies not in waiting, hoping, or working tirelessly in the external world, but in living in the end, inhabiting the state of already having achieved that which you seek. The world you experience is a direct reflection of your inner assumptions. And if you wish to see success manifest before your eyes, you must assume it as a fact within yourself before any evidence appears. To live in the end means to mentally and emotionally place yourself in the position of already being the person you desire to be. It is not about wishing or daydreaming. It is about the unwavering conviction that you are already the winner, that your success is not a distant possibility, but a present reality. Every great achievement in life first exists as an inner certainty before it takes form in the outer world. Those who wait for proof before they believe are forever bound by their circumstances. Those who assume their victory without evidence shape their world according to their vision. Your imagination is the bridge between where you are and where you desire to be. If you want to experience a new reality, you must first create it internally. This is done by constructing vivid mental scenes that imply your success has already come to pass. Close your eyes and see yourself at the finish line, already having won. Hear the words of congratulations, feel the joy, and experience the sense of accomplishment as if it were happening right now. Dwell in this feeling until it becomes so real to you that the outer world must conform. It is not enough to visualize once and then return to doubt and uncertainty. The state you occupy must become your dwelling place. The world cannot help but mirror the consciousness you persist in. If you waver between faith and doubt, between confidence and fear, you will see mixed results in your life. But if you live in the end, if you consistently hold to the assumption that you are already victorious, your reality must eventually reflect that state. The law is unfailing. It cannot be otherwise. Many ask, but how will it happen? What steps must I take? These questions stem from the illusion that the external world is the cause rather than the effect. The how is not your concern. Your only responsibility is to remain faithful to the state of the wish fulfilled. Once you assume it fully, the means by which it manifests will unfold in ways you could never have planned. The path will be revealed, the necessary actions will arise naturally, and the right people and circumstances will align to bring about the result. But all of these are secondary to the primary cause, your inner state. To live in the end requires discipline. It demands that you reject appearances that contradict your vision. If the world presents obstacles, do not be deceived into believing they have power over you. If circumstances seem unfavorable, do not allow them to shake your conviction. The world is a mirror, and its current reflection is only a result of past assumptions. If you persist in your new state, the reflection must change. You must also be aware of the language you use, for your words reveal the state in which you dwell. If you speak as though you are still striving, still hoping, still uncertain, then you reinforce a reality of struggle and delay. But if you speak from the place of already being, already having, already knowing, then you affirm the truth of your assumption. Your words, thoughts, and actions must be in harmony with the state you have claimed as your own. Doubt will tempt you. The world will try to convince you that nothing has changed, but you must hold firm. Do not let temporary appearances dictate your belief. The seed does not sprout the moment it is planted, yet the harvest is inevitable. So too is your success if you persist in the assumption of its reality. Live as if it were impossible to fail. Walk through life with the certainty that what you have imagined is already yours. Carry yourself with the confidence of one who has already won. Many believe that success comes to those who work the hardest, who struggle the most, who sacrifice endlessly. But success is not the result of external effort. It is the natural outcome of an internal conviction. Those who achieve great things do not do so because they worked harder than all others, but because they held firm to an unshakable inner knowing. They lived in the end before the world confirmed it, and by doing so, they commanded reality to align with their vision. You cannot live in two states at once. You must choose. Either you continue to dwell in the state of waiting, hoping, and striving, or you fully occupy the state of already being. There is no in-between. The choice is yours, and the moment you decide to live in the end, to embody your victory as though it were already a fact, the world will begin to shift in response. It cannot do otherwise, for your inner world is the blueprint of all that appears before you. If you wish to be a winner, be one now. Not in the future, not when circumstances change, not when conditions improve. Be one now. Assume the feeling, think the thoughts, speak the words, and act as if your victory were already secured. Let there be no room for doubt, no space for hesitation. Live in the end, and life will have no choice but to follow. The world you experience is not separate from you. It is a projection of your inner state. What you assume to be true, whether consciously or unconsciously, determines the life you live. If you wish to change your reality, you must first change your assumptions. There is no other way. Your assumptions are the seeds from which your life grows, and they will bear fruit according to their kind. You cannot plant doubt and reap confidence, nor can you sow fear and expect abundance. You must deliberately assume the state that aligns with your desire, for the world will unfailingly reflect it back to you. Every experience, every event, every circumstance in your life is the result of what you have assumed to be true. These assumptions operate as laws, unseen yet unbreakable, shaping the world around you with precision. If you assume that success is difficult, life will provide endless obstacles to confirm your belief. If you assume that wealth is beyond your reach, opportunities for financial growth will seem scarce. If you assume that love is fleeting, relationships will continually slip away. It is not the world that imposes these conditions upon you. It is your own consciousness that gives them form. You may argue that reality is fixed, that circumstances are beyond your control, but look closely. Your experiences always match the expectations you carry within. The person who believes they are always overlooked will find themselves ignored. The one who expects betrayal will be met with disloyalty. The one who assumes life is filled with ease will walk a path of effortless success. You are never at the mercy of fate. You are the creator of it. Change your assumptions and the world must conform. To shift your reality, begin by observing your inner dialogue. What do you tell yourself about your life? What do you assume to be true about yourself in the world? Most people remain unaware of the thoughts they entertain daily, yet these thoughts are the architects of their destiny. If you assume failure, you will subconsciously act in ways that ensure it. If you assume victory, your actions will naturally align with success. You do not need to force change in the external world. You need only persist in the new assumption, and the world will reshape itself to match. To assume the state of your desired reality, you must do more than wish for it. You must claim it as already yours. This is not about pretending or deceiving yourself. It is about fully embodying the feeling of already having what you seek. If you desire confidence, assume the posture, the speech, the inner knowing of one who is already confident. If you desire wealth, assume the mindset, the habits, the inner security of one who is already abundant. You must feel as if your wish were already fulfilled, for this feeling is the bridge between your current reality and the one you seek. It is not enough to assume momentarily and then revert to old beliefs. Your assumption must become your dwelling place, a state you inhabit so fully that it becomes second nature. Doubt may creep in. External circumstances may contradict your vision. But if you persist in your new assumption, reality must bend to meet it. The world cannot resist the force of sustained belief. It must yield to the one who assumes with conviction. Many people wait for evidence before they believe. They say, I will feel successful when I see results. I will believe in love when I meet the right person. I will trust in abundance when I have money in my hand. But this is the great illusion. Reality does not create belief. Belief creates reality. The one who assumes success in the absence of proof is the one who eventually sees it materialize. The one who assumes wealth before a dollar appears is the one who inevitably becomes wealthy. The one who assumes love within themselves will find it reflected in others. If you find yourself trapped in undesirable conditions, do not fight against them. Instead, withdraw your attention and assume the opposite. If you feel powerless, assume strength. If you feel lack, assume abundance. If you feel lost, assume clarity. Do not concern yourself with how the change will occur. Trust that the assumption itself is the cause, and the effect must follow. Your assumptions are the keys that unlock the doors of possibility. They are not mere thoughts. They are creative forces that shape every aspect of your life. Once you understand this, you will no longer leave your destiny to chance. You will assume only that which aligns with your highest vision, knowing with absolute certainty that life must follow the path you set. Assume wisely, assume boldly, and reality will mold itself in your favor. Everything you desire already exists in an unseen reality, waiting for you to claim it. The only reason you do not experience it now is that you continue to live in the state of wanting rather than the state of having. To bring forth the life you wish to live, you must stop seeing yourself as one who is striving and instead assume the identity of one who has already arrived. The difference between success and stagnation is not effort, nor struggle, nor the external circumstances that seem to dictate the course of your life. The difference lies in your state of being. The one who acts as if they already possess their desire moves with confidence, certainty, and an unwavering trust in the unseen. The one who waits for external confirmation remains trapped in doubt, hesitation, and endless struggle. You must learn to live from the end, to assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled, to embody the state of already being, the person you desire to be. This is not an act of pretense, nor is it wishful thinking. It is the only true creative act. If you continue to see yourself as someone who is on the way to success, you will always be on the way. If you see yourself as someone who is becoming wealthy, you will always be in a state of becoming. The law is exact. You can only experience that which you have already assumed to be true. You must claim the end result as your present reality, not as something distant, not as something you hope for, but as something that is already done. There is no power outside of you deciding whether you are worthy of your desires. There is no force that will one day grant you what you seek. The only requirement is that you assume yourself to be the person who already possesses it. This is the secret behind all great achievements, though the world does not recognize it. The world believes in effort, in struggle, in chasing after success. But those who understand the creative power of consciousness know that the real work is internal. The world is only a reflection, a shadow cast by your assumptions. The moment you persistently assume your wish is already fulfilled, life begins to rearrange itself to make that assumption a reality. You will find yourself moving differently, speaking differently, making decisions from a place of confidence rather than uncertainty. You will no longer feel the need to chase opportunities, for they will gravitate toward you. You will no longer fear failure, for you have already claimed success. The mind that dwells in the end result does not concern itself with obstacles, with how things will unfold, with external validation. It moves with absolute faith, knowing that its inner world is the true cause and the external world is merely the effect. Do not make the mistake of allowing the present moment to dictate your assumptions. The present is nothing more than a reflection of past thoughts, past beliefs, and past assumptions. If you continue to react to it as if it were fixed, you will only reinforce it. Instead, learn to close your eyes to what appears to be and open your inner vision to what must be. If you are surrounded by lack, do not accept it as final. Assume wealth. If you are met with rejection, do not take it as truth. Assume acceptance. If you feel lost, do not surrender to it. Assume clarity. The more unwavering you are in your assumption, the faster reality will shift to conform to it. You may ask, how do I assume what my senses deny? How do I believe in something that is not yet visible? The answer is simple: through feeling. Feeling is the key that unlocks the unseen world and brings it into form. To assume your desire is already fulfilled, you must feel it as if it were true now. Close your eyes and enter the scene in your mind where your wish has already come to pass. Feel the joy, the relief, the gratitude. Let it become so real within you that it no longer feels like imagination, but an actual experience. And then carry that feeling with you throughout your day, letting it shape your actions, your words, and your entire state of being. If you persist in living from the end, doubt will fade. The need to control every detail will dissolve. You will no longer act out of desperation, for you will no longer see yourself as one who is lacking. You will move as one who already possesses, and the world will respond accordingly. Everything will begin to shift in ways you could not have planned. Opportunities will arise where none seem possible, and people will show up in your life as if drawn by an unseen force. This is not coincidence. This is the law in action. You must discipline yourself to remain in the end no matter what appears before you. The mind will try to convince you that nothing is changing, that you are fooling yourself, that reality is unmovable. Do not be swayed. What you assume consistently must come to pass, for the world has no choice but to obey the consciousness that creates it. Those who doubt, those who waver between believing and disbelieving, remain stuck in the cycle of hope and disappointment. But those who persist in their assumption, who refuse to acknowledge anything other than their desired reality, inevitably see it manifest. You are always living from an assumption, whether consciously or unconsciously. The question is, are you assuming from the present or from the end? Are you seeing yourself as someone who is waiting or someone who already has? The choice is always yours, and the world will reflect it back to you with absolute precision. Assume wisely, for the state you dwell in now is the reality you will soon experience. Everything you now experience is nothing more than the crystallization of a past assumption. The conditions of your life, the people you encounter, the opportunities or limitations that seem to define your world, all of these are reflections of what you have previously accepted as true. The moment you understand this, you will no longer wait for circumstances to change before adjusting your belief. You will recognize that all change begins within. And if you persist in the assumption of your desired reality, the world has no choice but to conform. Most people do not persist long enough in their assumptions. They allow their senses to dictate what they believe is possible. They assume a new state of being for a moment, perhaps even a day, but the first sign of contradiction causes them to waver. They return to old doubts, reacting to what appears before them rather than remaining firm in what they have claimed. And so, they remain trapped, shifting between hope and disappointment, never allowing their assumption to take root. To truly transform your life, you must persist in the assumption until it hardens into fact. You must occupy the state of already having your desire, not as a fleeting thought, but as an unshakable conviction. The world may present opposing evidence, but this is only the remnant of past beliefs dissolving. It is not proof that your new assumption is false. If you give in to appearances, you will undo your progress. If you react to delay with doubt, you will reinforce the very state you seek to leave behind. But if you persist, if you refuse to entertain any reality other than the one you have claimed, then what was once unseen must become visible. It does not matter how impossible your desire may seem. The world is nothing more than the projection of consciousness, and consciousness is not bound by logic, reason, or probability. It operates by law, and the law is simple. Whatever you assume to be true, if you persist in that assumption, must become fact. The only thing that can prevent this is your own wavering. The only thing that delays the manifestation is your own willingness to return to a state of doubt, of waiting, of seeking confirmation before fully believing. You must train yourself to remain loyal to the unseen reality. You must become so absorbed in your assumption that it feels more real to you than the external world. When you close your eyes and dwell in the state of your wish fulfilled, let it become so vivid, so natural, that when you open your eyes again, you carry that feeling with you. Walk as the person who already possesses what they desire. Speak as them, think as them. If you persist in this, reality will shift to reflect it. Do not expect the world to change instantly. The seed does not sprout the moment it is planted, but that does not mean it is not growing beneath the surface. The same is true of your assumptions. The moment you claim something as true in consciousness, the process begins. The world will rearrange itself in ways you cannot predict, but the change is inevitable. If you persist, you will see evidence. And once the first sign appears, do not make the mistake of doubting it. Do not allow the mind to question how or why things are unfolding. Simply accept that they are. There is no such thing as failure for the one who persists. There is no obstacle too great, no circumstance too fixed. The only battle is within. Will you hold firm to your assumption, or will you allow the world to dictate what you believe? If you can remain unwavering, refusing to acknowledge anything other than your chosen reality, then no power in existence can prevent it from manifesting. The law is not selective. It does not favor one person over another. It is always working, always responding to the state you occupy. The question is, are you occupying the state of already having or the state of wanting? The world may call this imagination, but imagination is the only reality. It is not a place of idle fantasy. It is the workshop of creation. Every great achievement, every breakthrough, every advancement humanity has ever known was first conceived in the mind of one who refused to accept the limitations of the present. They persisted in the unseen until it became the seen. They did not wait for evidence, they created it. This is the secret that the masses overlook, dismissing it as unrealistic, while remaining bound by the very limitations they refuse to challenge. When you assume your desire is already fulfilled, persist in that assumption, regardless of what appears before you. Do not look for confirmation in the outer world. The world must follow. It has no choice. It is only a mirror, reflecting back the state you occupy. If you find yourself questioning whether your assumption is working, that in itself is proof that you have stepped out of the state of already having. The one who truly knows does not seek signs. They move with certainty, knowing that what they have claimed is already theirs. If doubt arises, do not entertain it. Return to your assumption. If delay appears, do not give it power. Hold firm in the unseen. This is the difference between those who manifest with ease and those who struggle. The former never waver. They remain in their assumption until it becomes reality. The latter allow appearances to dictate their belief, shifting from faith to doubt and back again, never giving their assumption the time it needs to take form. The greatest power you possess is your ability to assume a new state of being, regardless of what the world presents. Persist in that assumption, and you will witness the impossible become possible, the unseen become seen. The law does not fail. It is only the mind that wavers. Hold firm, and the world will bend to meet you. The great secret of creation lies in your ability to assume that your desire is already fulfilled and to live from that state unwaveringly. Every condition you now experience is merely a reflection of past assumptions, past thoughts, past states of being. The world you perceive is only a mirror, faithfully reflecting back to you what you have impressed upon it. The moment you recognize this, you stop chasing after things in the external world. You cease the struggle of trying to force reality to conform to your desires, for you understand that the only thing that needs to change is your inner state. If you live from the end result, embodying the feeling of already having your desire, then the world must arrange itself to match that assumption. Most people live in a state of wanting. They wish, they hope, they long for a change, but they do not claim it as already theirs, and so they remain in the state of lack, constantly reinforcing the very absence they seek to escape. The law is precise. It does not give you what you want. It gives you who you are. If you are in the state of wanting, of waiting, of hoping for something to happen in the future, then your reality will continue to reflect that waiting. But the moment you shift into the state of already having, the moment you assume the feeling of your wish fulfilled, the world must conform. It has no choice, for it is only an obedient servant to the consciousness that directs it. Living from the end means to dwell in the assumption that what you desire is already yours. It is not something you will achieve one day. It is something that is already a fact in your world. You must move, think, and feel as the person who already possesses the thing you seek. If wealth is your desire, you do not long for riches. You assume the consciousness of wealth. You carry yourself with the confidence, the ease, the generosity of one who has more than enough. If love is your desire, you do not pine for it or wonder when it will arrive. You walk as one who is already deeply loved, already cherished, already fulfilled. This is not a game of pretense. It is the highest truth of creation. There is no power in the external world greater than the power of your assumption. The world will try to deceive you into believing that circumstances must change first, that action must be taken before you can feel as though you have what you want. But this is the great illusion. The only thing that needs to change is your inner state. When you persist in the assumption that your desire is already a reality, the world has no choice but to reflect it. This is not a passive process. It requires unwavering discipline. You must train your mind to reject appearances that contradict your assumption. You must silence the inner dialogue of doubt, the habitual thoughts that tell you your desire is distant, that it is difficult, that it is unlikely. These are merely remnants of past conditioning, echoes of an old self that no longer serves you. If you allow yourself to waver, to entertain the idea that what you want is not yet yours, then you delay its manifestation. But if you hold firm, if you refuse to accept anything less than your fulfilled desire, then reality will shift. The key to living from the end is persistence. You cannot assume your desire for a moment and then revert back to your old way of thinking. The assumption must become natural to you. It must feel so real, so inevitable, that it no longer even seems like an assumption. It is simply the truth. When you have truly claimed something in consciousness, You no longer question it. You do not look for signs or wonder if it is working, for you know that it is done. The one who is truly convinced does not seek proof. They walk in certainty. This is the difference between those who manifest with ease and those who struggle. The former do not allow appearances to shake them. They do not look to the external world for confirmation, for they know that the world is always lagging behind the inner state. They understand that the moment they have accepted something as true within, it is only a matter of time before it solidifies into experience. And so they remain steadfast, unmoved by delays, unshaken by temporary contradictions. The world may present obstacles, but these are only reflections of past assumptions dissolving. They have no power except the power you give them. If you react to them, you reinforce them. If you accept them as real, you delay your manifestation. But if you ignore them, if you persist in your assumption despite all appearances, then the old reality must fade away. It cannot sustain itself in the face of unwavering belief. Imagination is the only reality. The outer world is nothing more than a projection of the inner world. If you desire to change your experience, you must change your assumptions. And once you have claimed something as true, you must live from it, not merely think about it or wish for it. You must assume it so fully that it becomes the only reality you recognize. You must carry yourself, speak, and act as the person who already possesses what they desire. If you persist in this, then what was once unseen must become seen. What was once intangible must become tangible. The law does not fail. It is only the mind that wavers. But for the one who remains loyal to their assumption, for the one who refuses to accept any reality other than the one they have chosen, the world bends. The unseen takes form, and what was once thought impossible becomes inevitable. Life from the end, and life will follow. The world you experience is nothing more than the externalization of your internal state. It is the great mirror, reflecting back to you not what you want, but who you are. The circumstances, events, and conditions you find yourself in are simply the outpicturing of the consciousness you have assumed. If you wish to change what is before you, you must not wrestle with the world, nor try to manipulate conditions with force or effort. Instead, you must turn inward and assume the feeling of your wish fulfilled. For it is not action that shapes your reality, but consciousness. You cannot experience what you have not first embodied in mind. Most believe that effort and struggle are the means by which they can attain their desires. They toil, they push, they strive, all the while believing that external conditions hold power over them. But the truth is that nothing outside of you has any authority except the meaning you give it. The power does not lie in action. It lies in your assumption. When you assume that you already are the person you wish to be, life must conform to that assumption. It has no choice, for the world is nothing more than a projection of your inner state. To maintain this inner state, you must become unwavering in your belief. You must refuse to entertain any thought that contradicts your assumption. The world may attempt to pull you back into the illusion of lack of limitation, of waiting, but these are nothing more than reflections of an old self that no longer serves you. Do not waver. Do not look to the outside world for confirmation, for the world only reflects the past. If you wish to change your reality, you must persist in the assumption of your desired state, even when all appearances suggest otherwise. Many falter because they believe in the evidence of their senses more than they believe in the power of their imagination. They say, I will believe it when I see it. But the truth is the opposite. You will see it when you believe it. Your belief is the cause. The world is the effect. If you look at conditions and say, this is my reality, then you have sealed yourself in that state. But if you dare to see beyond appearances, to claim a new reality, even when there is no physical evidence of it yet, then you have unlocked the secret to creation. The mind is the only reality. Your experience of life is not determined by what happens to you, but by how you define it. Two people can experience the same event, yet interpret it in entirely different ways. One may see failure, while the other sees opportunity. One may see rejection, while the other sees redirection. It is never the event itself that matters, but the state from which you perceive it. If you live from the assumption of being a winner, then every circumstance, no matter how it appears, must ultimately serve your victory. To assume a state is not to force yourself to believe something blindly. It is to shift your feeling, your perspective, your sense of identity. It is not enough to repeat words or affirmations without conviction. Your assumption must become so real to you that it feels natural. The moment it feels natural, the moment it becomes an unquestioned fact within you, the world will move to make it so. There is no power outside of you greater than your own assumption. No condition, no circumstance, no so-called reality is fixed. Everything is fluid, everything is changeable, and everything is responding to the state you dwell in. If you assume yourself to be lacking, you will see lack. If you assume yourself to be prosperous, you will see prosperity. If you assume yourself to be loved, you will experience love. The law is simple, yet few truly apply it, because they allow the evidence of the senses to dictate their state, rather than imposing their assumption upon reality. The key is to persist. When you first assume a new state, the world may not immediately reflect it. This is where most people fall back into doubt, returning to their old assumptions and thereby reinforcing their old reality. But those who persist, those who remain faithful to their vision, even when the outer world suggests otherwise, will see their assumption harden into fact. Reality must conform to the state you persistently occupy. You are not here to react to life, you are here to create it. And creation is not an external process, it is internal. The moment you assume something to be true, the moment you claim it as a fact in your world, life begins to rearrange itself to match that assumption. You may not see how, and you do not need to. The means are not your concern. They will take care of themselves. Your only task is to remain loyal to your assumption, to refuse to entertain any idea that contradicts it, and to trust that what you have claimed in imagination is already done. Most live in a state of hoping, of waiting, of longing for change. But waiting only reinforces the state of not having. You must not wait for life to change before you feel different. You must feel different first, and life will follow. This is the secret. The world does not move first, you do. When you change your state, the world must change in response. It has no choice, for it is only an obedient servant to the consciousness that directs it. To assume a state is to live from it, to move as if it were already so. If you desire success, do not wish for it. Assume the consciousness of success. Walk, think, and speak as one who is already victorious. If you desire love, do not seek it. Assume the feeling of already being loved, and love will be drawn to you effortlessly. There is no effort in this. There is only the discipline of the mind. You must train yourself to reject appearances that contradict your assumption and to remain steadfast in the knowing that your desire is already fulfilled. If you hold this assumption unwaveringly, then what was once invisible must become visible. What was once a mere thought must solidify into form. This is not theory, this is law. And those who live by it will come to know that reality is not something to be waited upon. It is something to be commended. Everything in your life is a reflection of the state you occupy. You are not a victim of circumstances, you are the creator of them. If you assume yourself to be victorious, life must mirror that assumption. If you persist in your vision, reality has no choice but to conform. The world does not determine who you are. You do. Do not wait for signs, do not seek external validation, and do not let the evidence of your senses dictate your belief. You must believe first. You must feel first. You must assume the state of already being the winner before the world can prove it to you. There is no power outside of you shaping your destiny. The only true power lies within, in your ability to claim what is already yours in imagination. The moment you accept your victory as a present reality, life begins to shift in ways unseen, orchestrating events, circumstances, and people to fulfill what you have already accepted as true. Persist. Remain steadfast. Refuse to waver. Even when appearances contradict your assumptions, stand firm in your knowing. The world is only a reflection of past assumptions, and as you change within, the outer world will inevitably follow. You are not here to react to life, you are here to command it. Act as if you are the winner now, and life will align itself accordingly. Your only task is to embody the feeling of your desire fulfilled, to walk in the certainty that it is already done. When you master this, you will no longer chase success, it will be drawn to you. You will no longer seek love, it will seek you. You will no longer strive for abundance, it will flow effortlessly into your experience. The secret is simple yet profound. Assume the state, persist in it, and the world must reflect it. This is the law, unchanging and absolute. And when you live by it, you will come to know that the power to shape reality has always been and always will be within you.